This is the material that I'll use for the guitar nut. It comes from Stuart McDonald. It's a synthetic material. It's a little over 3/16 by 5/16 inches by a little over 2 inches long. So it'll fit in here. Before I put it in there, I need to make sure that this area that the nut will sit on is flat and that it's at a 90-degree angle to the end of the fretboard. To do that, I'm going to lightly sand this area. I'm just going to make me a little sanding block. I got a piece of the rosewood that I used for the bridge that is at a 90-degree angle. I have some double-face tape on that. I'm going to just stick some sandpaper to the bottom of that, and then just holding that against the fretboard, lightly sand it so I'll get a flat base here that's at a 90-degree angle to the end of the fretboard. Here's my sanding block. I'll slightly sand this, holding it tight against the fretboard. I'm going to turn it the other way so I don't tend to sand harder at one end than the other. That looks pretty, so that will sit there just like that. Next I want to cut the nut to width, so I'm going to line it up flush on one side. I'm going to mark it on that side. There's the mark. I'll just square that off and cut it off with a little handsaw. I had to get a little bit more aggressive saw to cut through this nut material. So after a whole lot of sanding, finally got that flush. So I need to cut this down to height. To do that, I'm going to lay my pencil on top of my frets, my half pencil, and I need to reduce the height of the nut to just slightly above this pencil line, and I'll do that on the belt sander. There it is, down close to the line. It's a little bit got a square, but I'll square that up on some sandpaper. So that's close enough. This side with the pencil line is going to go this direction on the fretboard, and once that's in place, this back side will actually get kind of rounded over like that. So it's not critical that this is I have that pretty square right there, but this is going to get rounded over anyway, so it's not critical that that's square. I just need to make sure that I'm parallel with that line that I made, which it is. So that'll sit on there just like that. Next time, as I described that, I'm going to round over the back edge of the nut. Just using a piece of sandpaper, rotating it back and forth. So you can kind of see how it's starting to get a curve to it. So I'll just continue sanding until I get to the curve that I like. So there is the curve on that. I'm going to also just knock the edge off both of those. They're a little sharp. So I didn't really round them, just took that sharpness off. So now I'm going to mark the string locations on the nut, and I'll just refer to my blueprint. Next I want to temporarily put the nut in place. I'm going to just take a saw and start the slots, and to make sure that I don't saw too deeply, I'm going to take this stainless steel ruler and put it on top of the fretboard. It's roughly 1/16 of an inch thick, so that'll keep me from going too deep on the nut. I'll just tape that on there. So I'm using just a Stewart McDonald fretting saw here. It's 0.01 inches wide, so it's a very thin blade. I just want to get these slots started with this, and then I'll use a file of the correct widths to finish up the slots. When I cut this, I want to be parallel with the peg head. So there is the start of those slots. Okay, the nut slots. I have these nut slotting files. Each one is a different width. Ones I happen to have are 13 thousandths, 16 thousandths, 42 thousandths, and 28 thousandths. And those correspond with the widths of the strings that you're going to use on your guitar. The way that I came up with those widths is I just looked at several commercial tenor guitars that are out there on the market, what size strings they used, and I just chose some sizes that I thought I would like. I wanted lighter rather than heavier strings, and that's what I came up with. So what I think I'll do is saw this down a little bit further. There I could just hear the saw touch that metal ruler just then. There. There. And there. So that takes care of that. I just need to have to file these slots out a little bit. This last one won't take much because the saw was 10 thousandths and this nut or this file is 13 thousandths, so there's not much difference, 3 thousandths difference in thickness. So there those are. That's enough for now. Once I get the strings on the guitar, I can cut and file the nut slots down anymore if I need to get the final string height that I want. The recommendation that I got for attaching the nut is just to use a little bit of white glue on the back of the nut and glue it against the fretboard. So that's what I'm going to do. You really don't want this glued too permanently in case you ever need to remove the nut and replace it for whatever reason. So there that is attached. I'll let that dry. Thanks for watching.